So why don't diets work? I believe it's because of a couple of reasons. One, because we no longer just eat when we are hungry. We eat when we are sad, when we are happy, when we are upset, when we are celebrating. And secondly, because any diet is based on a premise of deprivation and shame. Allow me to explain. Now, as 2020 showed us, food was the most widely used coping substance for all of us. In fact, we were stressed, we were afraid, we were anxious, and it was like the world was changed forever. And how did we deal with it? We ate. Most of us did. Now, apart from that, all of us, I believe, do carry some sort of emotional trauma to some extent, some more so than others. And unfortunately, none of us are taught how to deal with it, how to process our emotions, how to deal with difficult situations, how to deal with conflict. So what happens is the easiest way to deal with things you don't want to deal with is food, because it's socially acceptable, because food is readily available, and it is pretty much as potent or even more potent than a high-grade narcotic like cocaine. And as far as the other aspect is concerned, any diet when you start, there are always restrictions. You eat this, but you don't eat that. And this, you only eat this much, and don't eat that this time, and don't eat too much of that, and you can certainly not eat that, and these are good foods, and these are really bad foods. So what happens? You start on the basis of restriction, and it is not easy. Then what happens? It also comes with a very subconscious kind of conditioning that if you dare fall, if you dare fail, and you reach for your comfort food, you're a bad person. You're a bad person for eating the same foods that have helped you manage and cope through difficult situations in life. So it puts people in a very, very difficult position. So just to give you an example, imagine someone who has been struggling with weight, who has probably a lot of social pressure, familial pressure to get in shape, like all of us do, and who uses food to deal with difficult situations. What happens? They want to go on a diet, they want to change their life, they want to do a lot of things. So they start this diet. Firstly, they have to let go of all their comfort foods, and they have to change what they have been eating. Secondly, their life doesn't change. They still have the same stressors, they still have the same issues, they still deal with the same things. But in the moments of trouble, they cannot rely on the only thing that they have relied on so far. Okay, people still push themselves. People are resilient, and they really want better things for themselves and their family, and they do that, they change. But what happens? It's difficult. And sometimes we all buckle under pressure. We will eat that cookie, or we will eat that ice cream, or we eat that chocolate. And then what happens? Then there is this such a deep-seated and insidious toxic shame that just overwhelms us. We end up feeling really alone, and it's just like self-loathing at its worst, and there is no one to talk to. There is nobody we can unburden ourselves. There is nobody to help us, and we are alone, and alone you deal with the shame of failing. So it is such a difficult situation. Just imagine. So you've been dealing with your food issues, you've been dealing with your emotional issues, you've been dealing with so much of pressure to lose weight, to get healthy, and not just people, even social media today around just shows us how you should be and how your body should look and how your health should be and what is clean eating and what are good foods and what are bad foods. And it makes you feel horrible if you're not like how people expect you to be. And then you are not allowed an ounce of failure. You are not allowed to make mistakes. So imagine, it's such a difficult position, it's almost cruel, don't you think? Don't you think people who struggle with weight, like most of us, people who struggle with food related issues, with emotional eating or anything like that, don't you think they deserve patience? They deserve the space and the time to make mistakes. They deserve to understand what's going on with their body, with their emotions, and then maybe slowly make a change. Because that is the only way we can change our health for the better and for good. As long as we keep depending on outside factors like somebody telling us how to exercise, how to diet, and what to do and what not to do, without understanding why is it that we eat, why is it that we reach for the comfort foods, what exactly is it that we are trying to control. Because for most of us, food has become a way to gain some kind of agency over our bodies and over our lives. Especially so if anyone who has, especially true for anyone who has witnessed any kind of emotional trauma. It could be minor, it could be major. Because firstly, one, it is very difficult to process. It takes a long time. And other than that, the right and effective therapy or therapists or other professionals who can help in processing these difficult things are generally not accessible for most people, because it's expensive, is out of reach for almost about probably 70 or 80% of people. So what do? You have to have some way to survive, and food becomes your solace. Food becomes your friend when you're alone. Food becomes that thing that calms you when you're raging inside. And food fulfills so many needs. And that is why it is so complicated. It is so complicated, and yet people want to oversimplify it. People want to talk about calories in and calories out. And there is so much of shame associated with the fact that if you don't stick to your diet, it's your problem. Never matter what all I am dealing with. There is no attention paid to probably how much I've struggled in my life, or whoever it is that struggled in their life, what kind of complicated life or mental situations they might be coming with. And that is why most diets fail. They don't take into account the underlying emotional reasons, the subconscious reasons why we eat. Because they start with denial, denying people food, denying people comfort, not acknowledging the power that food has over us. And that's a short way to fail. So what I would suggest, that you think about it and do what is best for you. Take your time, be kind to yourself, and go slow. You want to change your life? Yes, you can. You want to change how you eat, you want to change how you look. Start slow. One small baby step at a time. Just start with, don't start with let's say, I will not eat this and that is bad and this is not so great and I'm such a bad person for eating that cookie. No. Allow yourself the time and the space to fail. It is going to take time for you to understand the reasons why you eat. It is going to take time for you to make the change. And even just understanding and knowing is not enough. You need to have the patience. You need to have the ability to be kind to yourself, to allow yourself, be nice to yourself even when you fail. That is the way to make sure that you can change your life at your own terms. Go slow, be kind to yourself, and slow down. Understand yourself, know yourself. Try and see what is it that you want to avoid feeling. What is it that you don't want to think about, which is causing you to eat. And I believe that is the way to making sure that you succeed at weight loss, that you succeed at eating well, that you no longer are stuck in a difficult, vicious and insidious cycle of denial, of deprivation and of shame. I hope this video has helped, and thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your time.